Hey, you guys, I hope all is well with you all. I am doing well on the side. I wanted to come and share with you guys my personal testimony about how I healed myself from PCOS. Yeah, I said PCOS, irregular menstruation, hormonal issues, and I healed myself. And I want to talk a little bit about the journey that I went through um, when I was a teenager. I started my men's about 12 years old, and I noticed it was kind of it was weird. I was a child and understand whatever, and later on I noticed like I wasn't having like it wasn't coming like it should have been, like I should have had it every month. And I wasn't having it every month. And then I got older. Sometimes I'll miss months. I'm like, yay, not knowing that's not a good thing. But when I did have my cycle, it would be extremely heavy where I couldn't even really go anywhere. I could barely move, and it was just terrible. And if I went anywhere, I had to really have on total, like I'm sitting on, TMI. I would be like I had to really, really strap up and put it like that. I was strapped down to protect myself. There were times where I did have accidents and stuff like that. And then also, and this is during the time I was married. Like I got married at 18, so and so here we married, and then I have these issues which I didn't understand. I didn't know anything about what was going on with my body and why what was going on with my body. I'm just flowing with it, whatever. But I was desiring to have a baby. I'm like, you're supposed to get married. This is what I was taught, or I thought rather. You get married and you have children. Here I'm married. First year, no baby. Second year, no baby. And I'm irregular. I'm going to the doctor and I'm taking birth control pills. Let me back up. I started taking birth control pills for my irregular cycles when I was about 15. So I had been taking birth control pills for a long time by the time I got married. And then there was a period I knew, me being on birth control pills wasn't a good thing. So I went to the Chinese herbs and I started taking those. And it was, I think I had to take like 20 little small pellet pills, tablets, every day. And then sometimes I would forget, I was young, you know what I'm saying. And I would take actually this was a little later on when I started taking those pills. Before I got to that point with the Chinese herbs, I was taking birth control pills probably for about, oh my gosh, probably about 10 years. Probably about 10 years or so. And then I got into the Chinese herbs, which did help my cycle to be on, to have a regular cycle. And if I didn't do them properly, then I would have an issue. So I went into back to my pills. And I will remember thinking, I want to get off these pills, but I want to get off them in a healthy way. I don't want to be taking these pills for the rest of my life. And I got pregnant taking birth control pills. This was 7 years after marriage. Um, I did the Chinese pills way later, you know, after, I had our first child. Um, a couple years later, clearing my throat because I'm noticing me and mushrooms ain't having fun. But anyway, um, so I had our first child while taking birth control pills. Wow. I didn't miss a day, none of that. I got pregnant. That was like a miracle. 7 years, right in the 7 years of marriage. So that was amazing. It was surprising. And what, even before that, I'm going to tell you guys the power that we have within us, what we say, what we believe. People were saying, you must be can't get pregnant, before I got pregnant. And I said, this was like the top midday of probably the beginning or the mid of that year. I said, I'm getting pregnant this year. I'm going to get pregnant this year. Even my mother-in-law was like, that girl must be can't have no children because she had 15. And here I'm 7 years almost into the marriage and I hadn't had one child. You know what I'm saying? And I was thinking the same thing. And I also remember saying, just please bless us with a child, even if, it didn't live, I said that, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you the powerful words we have. That's how much I wanted a baby. I just wanted to see what me and my husband can create together, I was so desperate. Remember, I was young, okay? So anyway, I got pregnant that year. People were surprised. Everybody was happy for us. Blessed us. I was so spoiled. I mean, everybody spoiled me when I was pregnant with Ebony. Oh my gosh, it was just, I loved it, And the pregnancy went well and everything. And I end up with a C-section. And what I know today is I didn't need a C-section. My doctor was, I'm ready to go. We finna cut you, pretty much. So I end up getting a C-section. And everything went well, and I'm looking at this beautiful baby and, and my cycle, at first it was okay, but then it went back to like, we finna be back to where we was. So my cycle started tripping. I would be on and then I'll miss months and started going back, and that's when I started going through the Chinese herbs. Did that for a while. Then I end back on the birth control pills, and I was like, no, I'm backtracking, you guys. I said, no, I don't want to be on these pills. So I took them and started doing researches. I started doing green juices by this time. So this was some years later. Started doing green juices on my other YouTube channel, green smoothies. And I started noticing a little difference in my body. I felt good. I felt better. And even before I got to the green juices, I used to do, it was called it was called Whole Food Pharmacy. I used to sell their products long time ago. And that's how I kind of got into like eating healthy. And then I got into the green smoothies years later. And then because I was so constipated, you guys, like I knew I wouldn't be here if I would have still been the way I was. Like it was terrible. And so that was one other thing that was not good. And then my hormones all over the place. And like I said, years later, I started doing the green smoothie, started feeling better. And something clicked. And then I started doing research. And then I'm like, what is raw foods? Because I already started doing the smoothies, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I don't cook the foods. And I know my store had to go all the way in, tell y'all the whole history. So anyway, most of it. Um, I started doing raw foods, and I noticed at first I started, I felt good, then I felt tired, then I felt good, and then I noticed I was itchy all over. Like I could be standing talking to somebody, and the itch was so bad that I had to scratch. Like I would be scratching myself. Then I had these small little bumps that popped up the size of the birth control pills. And I always say that those were, and they was like here, all different little spots on my body. And I would look at it as those were the birth control pills going through my skin. And that's how I saw it. It was the same size of the birth control pills. And this was I was going through a serious detox. And this was some years later, after Ebony. Where I was going through when I went to the raw foods. Ebony probably was about um I don't know, maybe she was 12, 13, somewhere in there. I don't remember the actual, maybe 12. So anyway, started doing the raw foods and everything, 13, somewhere in there. And then I noticed my cycle. What I noticed was I was still taking my birth control pills, and I noticed my cycle, like right after I had my cycle, and I started my birth control pills, the 21 days, I think, or 28 days pills. I noticed my cycle came right back on. Like I had just went off Sunday, I come right back on Monday or Tuesday. Like, what the heck going on here? And I heard within myself, leave them birth control pills alone. Don't take the birth control pills anymore. And I said, okay. So I stopped taking the birth control pills. My cycle went completely off. And I have been regular ever since. I had a cycle every month. And then I got pregnant 3 times after. So let me tell you guys, it's in the food. You have to change what you're eating. I didn't eat any more meat or anything of that nature, but throughout the years, I have went back and forth, like with eating meat, and then I would stop eating meat for maybe a year, and then I might go back to eating meat. But during those times, I noticed my cycle. Even when I was eating another way where it was more grains, even though they said it was ancient grains, I noticed I would have a day in my cycle where I would be extremely heavy. Well, I couldn't even hardly move. Like it reminded me back in the day. So those grains were making my cycle heavy. Okay. Even though they call them ancient grains or whatever, that it was not good for me. But when I did the fruits and the vegetables, when I didn't cook them, my cycle was good. I felt so good. I mean, my skin cleared up. I mean, it was just the tones of my skin cleared up. It's just everything. My hair was just thriving, shining. It was thick and just beautiful. Everything was just beautiful. Until I got pregnant, because I got pregnant again with Adriana. Well, before Adriana, I got pregnant. I was going through a serious detox at the time, and this is why I tell people detoxify your body before you get pregnant, because your body will think your baby is a foreign, like this is not normal. Let's get rid of it. My body wasn't ready for the pregnancy, so I had a miscarriage. And then 3 months later, after the miscarriage, it was so devastating. But after 3 months of that miscarriage, I got pregnant with Adriana. That's how fertile my body was. with me changing what I was eating. So I was still eating my raw foods and stuff like that. And but when I got pregnant with Adriana, sister wanted me to, your body start craving things. So I started eating meat again. I started eating everything that I can get in my body. I was just consuming it, and sometimes I might eat a little something raw, but very little of that, very little, like probably 5-10%. But I was going in on everything that I wanted to eat. And one of the main things I was eating was meat. I was eating ice cream. I was drinking milk. I was eating grilled cheese sandwiches and stuff like that. Just stuff that I didn't normally eat. I was consuming it, and that's one of the. That's not a good situation to put a child in. But I'll probably do a separate video of talking about that. A fetus, a growing baby in the womb. Anyway, I just want to share my testimony, how I healed myself and I did some herbs also during that time, but it wasn't a lot of herbs. It was the food, was my main source of healing me from PCOS. Okay, that's why I'm telling you guys about food changing your eating, because that's where it's at. The herbs will help to you get a probably more speedier. It helps to help push out the toxins. It helps to rebuild the system. But the food is where it's at. Okay? You add the herbs to help to assist you, not to depend on herbs for the rest of your life. That's just like in the medical, you know. You don't want to depend on herbs for the rest of your life. You use them to heal you if you're sick. You use the food and let that be your medicine, okay? And that's where it's at. I want you guys to know realness and truthness, and that's where it's at. Get in, change what you're doing, and you'll see the difference in your body. If you want me to assist you in coaching you, and if you want any more information, let me know. Even with the herbs, if that's where that route you want to take, you can do that. But I think it's a longer process when you do it that way. I don't know. Everybody's different. I don't want to say it's going to be longer because you take herbs, because I'm a herbalist. I push herbs, but I'm not a herb pusher. You know what I'm saying? I want you to change what you're eating, because what caused the problem? There are some deficiencies there. The herbs have minerals and things in it as well. But what do you do the most every day? Every day you do eat. Every day you're eating something. So what you're putting in is most important. And that's what I'm trying to say here. That is what I'm saying. I am saying focus on what you're putting in your body. Add the herbs to assist you if you want to do herbs. But if you do the herbs and don't change what you're eating, you're not going to get the 100% what you're looking for, because you're going to go right back to the same stuff that caused the problem. Yes, you will get some results from herbs, but then if you continue to eat what you're doing, you're not going to change anything. And if you don't change, you won't get change. You have to put in the work to get the work done. You have to be consistent in what you do to get what you want. You can't play around. You only get this chance. You know what I'm saying? And yes, they don't mess with the food and all that stuff. I got many videos on my channel. Go check them out. Talk about the meat. I'm talking about all of this stuff, organic, all of that. But there is a difference if you eat organic and GMO. There's a difference. There's a difference if you eat conventional. There's a difference. I've seen it in too many testimonies. Too many people have shared with me their life changing. The best thing you can eat is wild foods or grow it yourself. That's the best thing you can do. Get heirlooms, seeds, get the best you can. There's a guy. He sell indigenousseeds.com, I think. And then you can go to Baker's Creek. I'm not affiliated with none of these people. These are the things that help me to heal. We always been growing our foods. If you look at, I do have some of my old raw food videos. You can see how huge I was. It's amazing. Like, wow, I can't even believe I was there. I don't, it's crazy. But I'm thankful for my journey. It's here to help people who are where I was. So anyway, I'm here to help you guys. Please subscribe, share this video so that I will put out more content. Because if people not interested, I'm not going to be doing these things. I don't need, you understand what I'm saying? You dig? Anyway, 1,000 roses, and I will be doing another video soon talking about what I'm going to be doing next. 1,000 roses, my love.